This is a THRASH presentation. Our first destination was at the Hong Kong Heritage Museum in Sha Tin. The first gallery that we went to was the Cantonese Opera Heritage Hall. The gallery represented the Hong Kong Heritage Museum's Cantonese opera collections. Here we could explore the drama, literature, music, makeup, costumes, and performance styles of Cantonese opera. We could also trace the history and the development of the Cantonese opera, meet the artists, and learn about the unique characteristics of this tradition. I found the commemorative badges of the Tai Lung Opera Troupe interesting, as you can see in this picture. It marks the presentation of Cantonese opera in honor of Her Royal Highness, the Princess Margaret Countess of Snowdon and the Earl of Snowdon. I was attracted to this object because it looked like it signified something really important, and which it did. The second gallery that we went to was the Bruce Lee gallery. An object that I found interesting was his glasses, as you can see on that side of the screen. He had really bad eyesight, so he had to wear contacts during his movie shoots and outside in public. He had a diopter of -5, and that's pretty bad. Overall, the design of both galleries was interesting and very realistic. The design made it look very historical, as you can see this is the picture in the Bruce Lee gallery. And so it made me feel like I was actually back in that time period. Next. Here is a video that was taken at the Heritage of the Opera Hall.
Wait, it's muted.
It's fine.
It's not.
It's fine.
Click the sound icon.
It's just noises.
On YouTube by the pause button. Do you see by the pause button?
It's not really.
There. Okay, try again.
Oh yeah.
Alright, try again.
Let's do a little bit.
With the sound.
Yeah, go for it.
Sound out the
Hey, keep going, Christine. You're doing great.
So we went from Sha Tin to TSD, which Shane will talk about next.
Our second destination, there we first went to the former Kowloon Canton Railway Clock Tower. Now, just some history about this clock tower. It was originally supposed to be built in 1910, but however, was postponed till 1913 due to issues of getting materials there because of World War I. However, once it was finished, it was opened to the public on March 18, 1916. After visiting the clock tower, we went into the Hong Kong Culture Center. At this Hong Kong Culture Center, you can observe many musicals and plays and more musicals. The same musical. And some concerts. Something interesting about this Hong Kong Culture Center is all of these plays and shows and concerts do not play from Monday through Wednesday. There are only shows on Thursday and Sunday, which on the next slide I have the list of things that was playing recently.
This building.
After exiting the Hong Kong Culture Center, we then we're supposed to go to the Hong Kong Avenue of Stars, which is where the Olympic torch and Olympic things are located. Basically, this Hong Kong Avenue of Stars is, they take famous people's names and put them in like a plaque thingy, and then put it in the ground. And I think they have their handprints on it. It's really interesting.
Oh, so it's like.
But we couldn't see it because they were redoing the whole promenade area thing. But originally, when it was first built, there were 73 people, and since renovation on October 25th, 2015, there are now 101 people. From there, we took the ferry across the harbor and went to the Man-mo Temple.
Okay, to start off, I'd like to begin with a video.
Is this a Brian Wong original production here?
We didn't take this video.
Go inside the temple.
Normal sir.
So in the video, the two gods, Man and Mo, were being worshipped by regular civilians. Their statues are seated on two seating chairs, which are used to bring them out whenever there was a parade. Well, like Confucius, these two gods were only mortals before. But what made them stand out among regular individuals? To answer the question, you have to look back into the history of the temple. So in 1847, the Man-mo Temple was built in the tribute of the god of literature, Man, and the god of war, Mo. They were both worshipped by ambitious students looking to succeed the civil examinations, because I know you guys are familiar with this stuff. And basically, it involves like a rigorous examination system, which aimed at finding the best officials for the state. Now this brings up another question of, why would students want to worship these two figures for the examinations? So to begin with, Mo, the martial god, was born in 160 AD during the time of the Three Kingdoms. Now the time of the Three Kingdoms was a special period in China, and basically three big warlords were fighting for power over the emperor position in China. And basically, Mo was a great warrior during that time, and he was known for his loyalty and righteousness. He was also named by emperor in the Ming Dynasty as a martial god. Man, the civil god, was born in 287 AD in the Qin Dynasty. He was said to have a great impact over the government officials, and therefore given the title as a king emperor man position by an emperor in the Yuan Dynasty. Together, they were said to bring luck and power and knowledge to the examination. And this tradition is still here today in Hong Kong, where with regular civilians coming to this temple to pray for these two figures. Even after many years, the Man-mo Temple was still able to maintain its traditional Chinese architecture. Its intricate ceramic figures, wood carvings, and fine statues all exhibit superb traditional craftsmanship. Till this day, lots of people have came to visit this temple, including the Queen of England herself, and even Hong Kong officials every year to pray for the prosperity of Hong Kong. Now, if you guys have a next summative coming up, you guys know where to go to pray for luck.
So we discovered a lot about Hong Kong, which Shane, Brian, and Christine just spoke about. These three destinations were unknown to us before, so these locations were all new discoveries. The Hong Kong Heritage Museum. This taught us about the history of the Cantonese opera, Chinese art, Bruce Lee, and so much more. The Clock Tower, a famous and important landmark of Hong Kong. And finally, Man-mo Temple, one of the oldest temples in Hong Kong. When we were finding our way from one place to the other, we discovered that the East Rail on the MTR has first class, and although most of us have lived here for around 10 years, none of us were aware of this fact. So here's a video showing the inside of the first class. You can see the seats are like way nicer than standard class, and it has a little TV. So from what we learned during that day, we can make connections to what we've done in class. In the Chinese art gallery in the museum, we learned that Chinese ceramic production reached its peak during the Qing Dynasty. From looking at that photo, can anyone tell me what connections we can make? Go for it.
Chinese stuff.
No, but close.
Which one are you
The one with the question mark.
Oh.
Any idea? Nathan?
Weapons.
Well, we learned about the Qing dynasty, and we learned about how they really needed a new government. So learning about the art and how successful it was during that time adds a completely new perspective. The clock tower was built in 1916 by the British, and it still stands as a declared monument. By looking at that photo, can anyone tell me what the connection is?
Explosions.
No. Elliot?
It was the drug boat that was
The opium.
I know what
being. There we go.
War, yeah.
Michael Bay approves.
So we learned about the Opium War and how influential the British were, and the clock tower taught us more about that. Lastly, the Manmo Temple. This was a temple where people went, especially during spring and autumn, to worship the gods and pray for good harvests. One of these gods was Confucius, and by looking at that photo, can anyone tell me the connection we can make?
The man god, I think.
No.
It's been a mess.
No, like
not a
Ian
man.
and Mo is just two different
She
persons.
just said it.
Yeah, okay, Confucius. So,
Oh my god. You had one job, Elliot.
we learned all about Confucius and how influential he was, and all about his teachings and beliefs.
Oh, is this an original?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before THRASH, we realize now that we took Hong Kong for granted and didn't fully understand or realize how convenient a country it is. We realize now that Hong Kong was built to make things as easy as possible for its citizens, and using only public transport, we were able to travel around and navigate Hong Kong without getting lost. And all in all, we actually ended up having a really fun day.
Yup.
Wait, where's Tanya? Oh, wait, she's taking a picture.
Wow. All right.